Hello folks and welcome. Sorry about the long delay between games. It appears that a patch was dropped right on top of us and didn't really have the best results, unfortunately for us. We all crashed. Anyway, now that we're all here, once again, this is going to be the Starladder group stages for Archon and Cloud9. Cloud9 needs to win this game to secure their spot in the top two. If they lose this best of three, they're right out. For Archon, they've got a bit more leeway since they're at one win and no losses currently, but of course you do want to win as well. I'm Llama Down Under. I'm joined by Vengeance on stats, and PQMZ is joining me as a co-caster. How are you, and what do you think needs to be picked?
I'm good, and honestly, I think the draft from Archon was fine last game. They just let themselves lose fights they shouldn't. And that gave C9 the momentum to be able to get to the point where Archon couldn't deal with the split push anymore. So I'm not sure if Archon are going to go straight back to what they had last game, but they aren't getting the Starladder at least.
Yeah, and I'm actually a bit surprised Cloud9 banned out the Broodmother. I guess they decided it was making too much of a pain, really stopping them from executing their lineup, but now Cloud9 have the minus armor strat.
Brood's always really annoying to play against, and you know if the enemy team can run it multiple ways, it can always mess with you, so I think it's fine to ban it out.
How do you feel? I mean, they've picked up the Lich on Archon to try to kind of deal with, I feel, this minus armor strat, but Dazzle, Slaughter a lot there, and also they just make it hard, I feel, to be an aggressive Tusk, because you try to go in, Dazzle Shallow Grave someone, the kill takes 5 seconds longer than it should, that's TP rotations coming in.
Dazzle's not the strongest laning support, so Lich can kind of maybe deal with that if they have some good aggressive lane. Like Tusk Lich is good, controlling the lane and limiting farm and all, so I could see that working out. Yeah, I like the Starladder Dazzle as an opener a bit more. Some more versatility throughout the game, I feel.
Yeah, and Cloud9 themselves worried about the Templar Assassin, but instead they're getting Monkeys Forever's Magnus.
Didn't they have this exact same opener the other day?
Yes. Very...
in the exact same order as well, I believe.
Very close to this, and I think that they did very well with it, didn't they? Didn't they get, like, a Lich ult, which did all of... like, they had a Phantom Assassin, and she got no kills because the Lich ult got all of them?
Yeah, I remember that. I'm pretty sure this was the exact same pick order as well. What else was it? There was a PA which was 5th picked. I can't remember the 4th hero though.
Well, clearly
Maybe
it wasn't important
Wyvern?
then. No, I don't think it was the Wyvern, because I remember if it would have been Wyvern, I would have commented on that, but no, yeah, I know, I feel like it wasn't the Wyvern because it wasn't an offlane Tusk. So, anyway, but we have Cloud9 picking up the Rubik, already a host of beautiful, beautiful spells to steal here. If you're a Rubik, you're very happy in this game.
It's always annoying to play Mag against Rubik as well. Cynic does pretty well with Starladder as well, just in general, giving you a setup for the Crush in the laning stage. This is actually a really strong tri lane as well, because you can lift into Crush into 3-man heal bomb. So I wouldn't be surprised to see C9 look to go aggressive with this.
Yeah, and also it feels like it's really nice when Magnus blinks in and does stuff. Also the Tusk aggression, as long as he's not rolling. It's kind of nice here, I feel. If you roll on the Rubik, the Dazzle can Shallow Grave heal up whoever is being gone on. And if you roll on the Dazzle, the Rubik just lifts you. Whoever came in on with the Tusk, he can lift the Tusk and stun the others. Or if it's just the Tusk, you just lift it. So, yeah, it's nice.
Rubik's a good hero.
Yes, just a little bit. And also, folks, Cloud9 are up a game, I believe. I said that. It's Cloud9's up a game, but Archon in their group stages are 1-0 in the overall group stages, and it is Cloud9 who are 1-1 right now. They dropped a game to Leviathan to kind of, I think, a lot of people's surprise a few days ago. And it's the PA again! This is the same draft!
I can't remember the other hero though. It's annoying me. You'll have to look it up.
I will look it up for you, since I am the master of all things internet. No, that's not true at all. Nobody. Oh gosh, now I'm gonna get weird things sent to me. But yeah, I mean, it worked last time. They had strong lanes on Archon last time they ran this, and it ended up being pretty dang great for them. So I mean, if it's working, you know, as the saying goes. They picked a Venno for Moo.
Ah, yes, Venno.
Yeah.
I don't think that's their option this game, though.
Yeah. Why not?
Because I feel like it doesn't give them what they need. It's pretty squishy to what Cloud9 have. They have a lot of damage for heroes outside of the PA. Once they get MKBs, they'll be able to melt the PA as well. Mostly the Windrunner. But until then, PA's probably going to have a swell time. There isn't enough magic damage for her to worry about.
Yeah.
Venno, on the other hand, does not have that, so... Not sure what I'd like to see from them here, actually. I'm gonna guess it's a mid-mag, but they ran it offlane the other day, right?
No, they ran it mid. Because Moo
Okay, yeah,
is
sorry,
their
I'm thinking of a
offlane
different
player.
game then.
Yeah.
Seen
So-
like 2 or 3 mags recently.
Yeah, we've seen an
Getting
offlane
confused.
mag as well, and it had a lot of trouble because of the cooldown on Skewer. So.
I think it's a very niche offlane hero. I tried drafting it before, and it was always like, it would work against teams that didn't really know what they were doing, but as soon as you got punished, you were like, well, I have an offlaner with 500 net worth, what do I do?
Yeah. Now, they've banned out the gyro, thinking Cloud9 need their hard carry. And I'm gonna guess that it is probably an MSS slaughter. The Ember Spirit is still available. Am I missing something?
Don't think it's the best pick for either. Cloud9 could probably get away with it because they have really good defensive supports and it just else. But I would definitely have preferred the gyro, so I understand why they banned it out over the Ember, and I don't think it's particularly good for Archon here.
Yeah. At the same time, I think that the Ember Spirit could be something that, one, it's a familiar pick for Cloud9, and yeah, they get rid of the Venom. They knew this draft. So I think that for Cloud9 could be the Ember Comfort pick, but there are so many picks that Ritsu is comfortable on. He can also go with the Anti-Mage, although Phantom Assassin can, if her RNG is good, do some good work on him. Also, the Slark is another pick they love getting on Ritsu.
Would be a Slark game. Tusk is really good against Slark though with the Sigil, the Snowball.
10 seconds.
Pretty hard for him to bring him down. Lich on the other hand is free food, so maybe it's something they look for. But I feel like they want something to... Actually, don't know, there's so many options they could go for here. The draft is very open-ended right now.
Yeah. A lot of flex, like, I really like this about Cloud9's draft. As you mentioned, they have really safe supports. They could even pick a Spectre. Like, I think that while there is something like a Magnus, there is the Phantom Assassin, a Spectre wouldn't do poorly here just because Rubik Dazzle stops all aggression coming onto that hero.
I think Spectre might be a bit too risky because window arc on hit is generally before Spectre becomes relevant in these fights, so...
You just have to hold out though, and we've seen that. And you've got Fade Bolt, you've got Power Shot. Clear, use some waves.
10 seconds.
It is an option for sure, but I think there's better ones up there. If you were going to go that route, I think the Anti-Mage would just be better because he puts more pressure on the map, whereas Spectre needs a lot more protection. I don't think that's what the cores from Cloud9 want to do right now.
Yeah. So,
Big Juggernaut, maybe.
oh
It's still in
yeah.
there.
We've actually seen a lot of Jug recently, right? And he does have something nice to add to this push lineup from the standpoint of if he gets that healing water plus Dazzle plus Windrunner, you can definitely do some early work on towers.
Yeah. And mostly it's good at dealing with what Archon have at most points of the game. He's pretty good MKB carrier, but they opt for the carry Starladder instead. And this is the first time I've seen a Tide in, I want to say, like a year, maybe more.
Tide hasn't been in the meta for a while. I'm gonna have Vengeance pull up some fun... If he's actually in this... I actually don't know if our Statsman got into the game because of the patch. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure he'll tell me in a second on Skype because I have him there. But if you're in Vengeance, I would love to have some stats on the last time we saw a professional Tide Hunter. And the last time a professional Tide Hunter won.
I have a feeling they'll be fairly close together. When he was in the meta, he won a lot. When he was kind of a niche pick, he can always pull out games.
Yeah.
I actually kind of like it this game, just because I kind of want to get in your face. And he's really good at just stopping that every 3 minutes. They have decent cooldowns that are shorter to kind of fill the void where Ravage is on cooldown.
Definitely true, but last time we definitely favored Archon's, or you favored Archon's lineup. And,
Ah, okay, I know why you picked the Tide. There's a new set out. This is the obvious reason why. That's voice.
It's not how this works at
The
all.
legitimate reason
It doesn't
you
work
play
this way at
Captain
all.
Yo.
No.
Yeah, I've been playing Tide recently. He's really good in pubs, and the only reason you play him is because you have a new set. So your captain's like, "Oh my god, fine, just shut up. I'll pick you Tide," and then it wins a game, and you tell him, like, "Dude, I told you, I got this."
No, just
Yes,
no.
it's
Let's
a
introduce
thing.
the teams.
Trust
On
me.
Cloud9, we've got MSS rocking that Tidehunter with the new set. Christopher Brax on the Windrunner. Rubik is going to be played up by SVG 1437 on that Dazzle, and finally Ritsu on the carry Slaughter. Oh, and we do have stats in here, so yeah, I'm excited to hear about Tide. Tossing it to you for Archon.
We have Jail on the PA, Whitebeard on the Lich, Fluff and Stuff on the Tusk, which he performed really well on yesterday, so hoping to see similar things. Monkeys on the Mag, who hopefully doesn't whiff as many RPs, and Moo on the Jakiro, which fills the same role as Saveno. Gives them a decent early team fighting hero with the ability to push towers, and also it's a pretty strong safe laner.
I do think
However-
the Jakiro isn't as good at the Veno at AoE damage just because you have to line up those spells. It is line as opposed to the huge AoE.
Every coin helps.
Yeah, but as opposed to, he has more lockdown, and I think he's a bit better earlier, before Veno kind of gets Ag's Blink up. He's a bit tankier as well, which I like. I think he does a bit better at dealing with like these harder lanes. Because he doesn't have to sap XP, whereas I feel like Veno needs to get something.
Wait, what do you mean he doesn't have to sap XP?
Well, with Jakiro, he's quite happy to just get his levels here when he realizes it's like an aggressive lane. Whereas Veno, when you're kind of zoned out, you feel like you're much less of a hero. I feel you want to get like rolling on that hero to start with.
Okay, that was much, much closer than we thought. We were both very wrong, and it was a win, so... Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I do not believe we were in fact the ones causing that one, so yeah. But apparently got some viability. It'll be interesting to see exactly what this Tidehunter can do. Let's talk about this mid lane some. I feel like Magnus should probably lose it, but he can always just skewer for some CS.
I don't know about skewering for
Not
CS.
skewer,
but
sorry.
Shockwave for CS.
Shockwave. I for some reason call skewer Shockwave. You could theoretically, really awfully, try to skewer for some CS. It would get you killed, but yes, you can Shockwave for CS.
He'll do reasonable. He'll get his levels, he'll get his farm. Windrunner will get the better trades though, so mostly what Mag can do outside of the laning stage.
Yeah, and as long... Oh, they're actually going in deep. No, Jo decides not to commit for... Oh, sorry, Brax decides not to commit for that one. I'm a little... Yeah, okay. Probably just thought with how choreographed Power Shot is that there was no hope and would rather just get in a position to use the full salve. Okay,
Especially
so...
a lane swap coming out as well.
Yeah, let's talk about this bottom lane with MSS now versus Moo. What... I feel like you're a pain to the Tidehunter, but Tidehunter's just gonna back out and regen.
I actually think Tide doesn't give a damn anymore that he has like the level advantage and he still has a decent amount of regen.
Monkeys
Who's-
Forever uses his skewer, and I think that was a mistake, finally me getting that spell right. And now can they get the power shot? Monkeys, can he die to the creeps? Oh, he
Oh my
is
God,
the
that's so
first
close.
blood, and instead of the neutrals hitting him, he goes down. He just couldn't get them to aggro him in time. Rubik
Was this
throws out.
shockwave off cooldown when he went to the high ground?
I'm not sure.
Needed to shockwave there. Unfortunately, that's like a millisecond difference though.
Yeah, maybe still would not have worked. And we see your favorite game mechanic. Actually, no, it's just going for a little bit of a gank. I actually thought Fluff and Stuff was doing the bottle refill, but... was actually coming in to lay down some hurt. And at top, they're lifting this Lich. Whitebeard, he's taking too much damage. Jayo's trying to do something, but you're a PA at this early in the game. No such luck. A really nice ice shards, but they're fighting in their opponent's creeps, and Fluff and Stuff's gonna go down as well. Jayo might too if he's not careful. No mana on the supports, but they can bring out those auto attacks. And a really ambitious play there by the lineup of Archon. I feel like if they had the creep advantage, that could have worked, the ice shards block, but they were fighting into an entire creep wave and 3 full health heroes.
Yeah, Dazzle with a creep wave is very dangerous. And on top of that, Fluff wasted a mango trying to go for the snowball before he died, so even more value for Cloud9.
Yeah.
I feel like they knew exactly what Archon were doing because they did this draft yesterday. The Benno and Jakiro pretty much interchanged each other. They ran the exact same laning setup as well, so Cloud9 have this scouted and they feel like they have a way to deal with it. Probably also why they picked the Tide.
Just because they want to disrupt this.
Yeah, I think they just knew exactly what Archon wanted to do.
Okay. So, Tide
It's
Hunter.
also a decent hero in the lane.
Yeah, he's taking quite a bit of harass, but he's going to be a-okay. On the other hand, this does mean Moo gets a lot more out of the lane than he initially expected. Maybe an early Yules to help set up those ice paths? I say, as Tusk is getting ganked again. He does snowball, but I think they have quite a bit... Oh, he tries to TP out, and then he's immediately deaded. That was a really ambitious TP attempt? And then he cancelled to walk away?
I guess he just didn't think the Starladder was there and knew the supports would be able to run him down, but with the Starladder there, he tried to juke the crush, I guess.
Yeah. So...
He was dead there, so...
Yeah,
really the best out of it.
Exactly, and maybe just trying to buy some more time and not actually give the kill over to Brax. So, a lot of these lanes not going so well for Archon. They are definitely falling behind. Do you think with their huge teamfight potential, oh, we have another lift up top, Jo does manage to blink away, but will Ritsu catch up to him with the slow on him? Throws a dagger, and Ritsu not wanting to engage, Slithering Crush just coming off of cooldown.
Better to play it safe and not give away your advantage here. Has the self to heal back up, so... Favorable trade all in all.
Yeah. Now, Jo's having a really, well, he's died... He's having a lot of aggression thrown his way. His supports have both died. He's getting some CS. You can always CS with that dagger. It feels like he's having a rougher time than maybe if they put him up against the Tide, or would he still have an awful lane down here? Because I feel like Tide can walk up and be a pain, but you can still CS through the Anchor Smash and so on, if you have to.
I think he's farming the same amount in both lanes, pretty much. I don't think he's missed too much, unless he's been doing what he's doing now, which is where he's like farming full creeps. Why his CS is quite high in comparison to his net worth.
No, he's doing okay. It just feels like there's a lot of aggression, and his team is clearly losing the lane.
Yeah, but I feel like this is better when Chikiro's like, he's doing fine bottom, he's actually getting levels, he can put pressure on the tower. The PA's still getting decent farm, so you're just sacrificing the supports, and Fluff needs to be a tiny bit better with his rotations.
Speaking of rotations, are we going to see the first Ravage of the game? They have the lift on Moo. They might not even bother to blow it, but with two of them, I think we're seeing a Ravage. And there it is. Moo's going to be going down, and then Fluff and stuff, most likely. And we are going to be 6-0, but here comes Magnus. Can he get any sort of follow-up? He's going for MSS with this haste. Monkey's Forever actually skewers him backwards. The shockwave, not enough, and he has another, but the shallow grave coming out. Well played there. The next shockwave hits no one, unfortunately, and that's going to be the end of that. They did manage to save Fluff and Stuff's life, but the lack of a return kill there, I think, really hurting them.
One kill for a Ravage is fine as well, especially because
yeah, this early.
Fortunately, Monkeys is like a full level behind Windrunner, so he's having a really hard time, and not getting a RP up when he had that haste. That was a triple kill, I think, if he had RP, because he ran into all three of them. Unfortunately, not having the levels in time. They're actually looking for a kill top.
Yeah, Jo is in the danger zone, taking the slow now. Needs someone to blink to, but it's on cooldown. No such luck, and Jo's just gonna go down. Power shot just in case he got those miss procs with the blow, and that is 6-0. Archon going to be about 3,000 gold behind, and now also losing out on experience. This is not the start they had in the previous game where they ran this strat.
Yeah, and the Rubik's second on net worth. It's been a really long time since I've seen this.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, he's had involvement in almost all of the kills, and he has, in fact, got almost all of the kills he's been involved in. Wow, this is a 5-0
Well, he's
Rubik.
been involved in...
Yeah, he's a
all the
5-0.
kills minus the one bottom.
So, this is a huge Rubik.
Yeah, and that's really big. If he gets, like, a 15-minute blink, he could get it a bit early, but I'm accounting for the fact he's gonna not have as many kills coming in, or he's gonna die once. Could get it, like, 12 minutes if he keeps getting this rate of kill impact. And also, the levels are really important this game. He's, like, on par with the Magnus. It's so hard to play that hero.
100%. He'll be able to steal things. He'll be able to lift How hard? Oh, we have an engagement. We have the lift. Ice Shard's coming out, trying to save out Moo. Moo doesn't have any points in Ice Path yet, so he's just gonna miss the dual breath, drop down a zoning Macropire, but they may go in after him, and looks like we're gonna see things end in this engagement. But this thing we're seeing with Jakiro's not putting any points in Ice Path, I don't like it.
I think it's fine at this point. I'd expect him to get it afterwards, because the early levels in dual breath help you fight a bit more, and you have a lot more laning presence, which is probably really important against the Tide, which is who he was laning against. I think it's fine. I'd be surprised if he doesn't get it by level 9. Maybe an extra point in dual breath.
And the bottom tower deny there, also really painful. I feel like the one thing that Jakiro was getting out of this lane versus all the other lanes that are having trouble is that he was also pushing the tower, but having it denied out from under them.
They're actually, despite being behind, I feel like the biggest difference is the supports. The cores are still doing alright for Archon, so it's not as behind as the graph says. 1,000.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel as behind.
Lich also, depending on how this goes, he actually might hit his level 6 before the supports on Cloud9, just because of how the split has been in experience, so that could really help out. We've all seen how a one big Lich ulti can really help you out, but they had the skewer back. Can they catch Brax in that wind run? Not taking any physical damage or physical auto attacks, but they have more than enough dot, and that is going to be their first kill on the board. But up top we have a huge big dive, and the TP out. Well played by Jayo. He TP'd to the mid lane, going to continue his farm there. That was a 1k gold swing, that kill on Brax, because he was top net worth and because Archon is quite behind.
Well, that's an insane swing at this point of the game for 1 kill.
Yeah, I'm also pretty sure this ward that the Lich placed was scouted by that ward. So, unfortunately he'll get dewarded, but they also caught out a ward for the lineup of Cloud9 and gonna make their mid lane maybe a little easier. But, Ravage, it's back up.
This is a really good point where they can fight. Fortunately, they're taking a lot of damage just from the Liquefy mid, but I expect Archon are gonna piece it now. If they're good with the timing on Ravage, they'll know exactly when it's up. This D-ward also coming out from 1437 is really smart, knowing they want to get a ward behind the tower. Sense.
Yeah. I mean, they saw it with... They scouted it earlier, so yeah, they know all about it.
Oh, I thought you meant this ward, sorry, not...
No, yeah, they scouted the one behind, so...
Oh,
that
okay,
was
never
what was
mind.
going on.
But
No,
still,
it's still
like,
good,
I
you know.
expect most support players would know that ward's going to be in that vicinity.
Yeah. It's
when you push like that.
Exactly, so... Going to just be, actually mid tower maybe in a little bit of danger here, so... Brax able to push that. He's done the skipping focus fire build.
I think that's fine at the moment.
Yeah.
The extra lockdown from focus fires, from shackle shots, really important when you have heroes without blinks that you need to follow up the kill.
Phantom Assassin is a pain to catch out, so a nice thing there. This mid
Shadow
lane
Blade as well.
on Brax.
Yeah, he's got the Shadow Amulet. I really like that actually.
Is it just for
Opposed to going
catching
blank.
out Magnus potentially and the Phantom Assassin, or?
Slightly less teamfight orientated because I feel like blinking in teamfights is much more efficient. But they're going to be able to put a lot more pressure on the map with the Shadow Blade, forcing the supports to buy out sentries, and if the cores don't feel safe farming outside of sentries, then they're going to be getting less farm. They're being worried about the pickup, and it also makes them scale a tiny bit better.
Yeah.
Damage-wise.
We've also got some big items that are going to start coming out. Tidehunt is really close to his blink. I think they actually want to hold the next Ravage until he's there. And Magnus is starting to make good progress towards his as well, already rocking those arcane boots. So it'll be interesting to see which of these two teams, the blink I think will come up a little bit earlier on the Tidehunter, who can make stuff happening with their huge teamfight ultis. You can start making stuff. There was English problems there. We'll ignore them.
Starladder's also halfway to his blink if he decides to get that next, so that's 2 points of time where they can look to smoke gank and kind of feel superior in the fights.
A really nice shackle. Actually brings the Jakiro with him, but this is so close. They don't have a tier 1. And now SVG... Oh, he actually Shadow Amulets him, but it's in the middle of the Macropire. This Rubik may be dead. Warrior's Punch to the face. Lich ulti going off to Illusions, and the bounces have stopped. Shackle doesn't latch on Whitebeard, and now there's the Ravage, but it actually only... It managed to hit 3, but can they follow up on the Windrunner? She is windrunning away, and it looks like Moo is going to fall as well, but there is an RP up. No one is grouping up for him. Moo walking around, trying to put that dot onto people, but he's trying to desperately be bottom bottled up by his teammates, and there, finally, that is the RP they needed. But where is the follow-up damage to skewer away? It actually brings MSS with them, and he's gonna kill off Monkeys Forever. That was not what they wanted out of that team fight, and now Monkeys Forever's MSS still going in. Can they get anything else? Jo's trying to crit him, and instead, Jo is now the recipient of, well, actually, he has to share the bounty, but he gets at least a bunch of gold from being involved in killing that Ultra Killer. How... It felt like the Ravage, while it caught out 3 heroes, it felt like it didn't catch the Magnus, who was key to a lot of that, and Jo was still free to go around. But I guess just Magnus not being, being so close to the blink and not having it, really devastating there.
The problem was when the Mag just tries to run in an RP, he's not doing anything. He's forcing heroes to move away, but at the same time, Jo wasn't able to go in because he's still scared. Like, he's not strong. They're actually going to kill the Windrunner here with the stream picked up from Fluff, so good stuff there. Yeah. Teamfights are not easy when you don't have Blink there. If he had Blink, he gets like an easy 3-man RP and he gets to use his spells. But because they can see it coming, he's just able to... Sorry, they're able to kite. And yeah, he feels like he needs to do something, but he can't.
Oh, they're gonna get the tower, and now there's gonna be a little bit of a fight. Fluff and Stuff is isolated. SVG, and he goes down, and now Walrus Punch onto Dazzle. He does have the shallow grave, but he's taking a lot of damage. There it is. Gonna delay the time. Can they have any sort of follow-up? Ritsu is here. He's very close to his blink as well, though, and Ice Shard's killing him off, and now Ritsu, he's gonna be further away from his blink if the rest of Archon have anything to say about it. He goes down. MSS manages to get away, but that was not a good team fight, and this back and forth from both lineups showing that they are kind of evenly matched right now.
I really don't understand how they have this really good team fight top, and they know they don't have like the edge at certain points because they don't have Ravage, while Archon still have like the rest of their stuff like Chain Frost, etc. They didn't have Blink RP for that fight, but they have it now. They're still just like trying to fight into them. I don't understand it. They're actually getting a pick on Fluff, so...
Yeah, I caught that one. It was a very ambitious snowball into the Windrunner, who then blunked backwards and brought him deeper, and the rest of his team wanted nothing to do with it. So, nice deny there by Brax. But, yeah, I'm not even sure. Maybe they just thought, hey, RP's down, because, of course, Ravage is down as well. We can probably fight into this, and I think Fluff and Stuff doing a really good job separating people, and then there was a bit of a save your friend syndrome going on, so...
I mean, the Rubik was pretty far out of position there. He ideally wants to be behind his course, but if he gets picked off first, he's a really important hero in these fights.
Yeah. Now, we're getting very close to the point where Rubik is going to have his Blink. Slaughter is getting close to his as well, as is Tusk. I'm assuming that Fluff and Stuff will go a Blink on this Tusk to save more people. This game is going to be full of blinking around.
There's lots of initiation from both sides.
Yeah, and
with the Shadow Blade and a DD up, I think Brax is going to look for a kill.
100%. Now, for Jo here, who may be about to be dead Jo, what do you build? You've got a free Battle Fury from the Empower. Can you just decide to go super greedy items? Do you need... Oh, goodness. Brax now going to get caught out, snowballed on. Pops that DD Walrus Punch. Is this enough to lock him down? And they get the stun using the Lich Ult. Pops all of his one charges, but it is not enough. And I thought Brax was going to be slain, but he went down instead. And we were talking about PA itemization this game.
I think SNY or Manta would still be fine. I know he went SNY the other game. Yeah. Just something to crank him up a tiny bit before he goes for the next set of items, I think would be fine. I like Manta this game just so you can like dodge the Shackle, you can also dodge, sorry not dodge, but you can remove amp damage as well, which helps.
Okay, and Slaughter
went irrelevant.
Slaughter went down top, I actually missed that, but it looks like a lot was expended for it. They used the RP on him and he went down lickety split, but managed to catch him out. And he did just get his Blink Dagger, so... Yeah, I feel like she also, at some point, she's gonna have to build an MKB for the Windrunner. So... Phantom Assassin, maybe some tanking up so that she can... I don't think she can afford to be a Gloss Cannon this game.
I don't think she will be, because she's got a lot of damage from the Empower. If she just builds stats, it scales really well. So I think Manta or SNY are definitely next on the cards, probably followed by a Basher. Might stop off for a BKB.
Yeah. Also,
maybe even before SNY actually, if they feel they want to fight.
Yeah. We've also got an interesting conundrum here. I feel like both teams need to play around the other's big team fights ults. But of course, Ravage is really, really huge. I feel like if... Certainly Archon can initiate in after the Ravage has been blown, but if they try to go beforehand, the fight could be entirely reset by a Ravage. How do you try to take these engagements? Is it something where Archon needs to try and pick people off using their smokes?
They need to get Aegis like they're doing now, I think, to be able to feel confident. Because Cloud9 have just better initiation with the Starladder going in. It's a lot more reliable than an RP, and you feel a lot easier doing it on one hero. Rex can also initiate with shackle shots if he's not scouted by sentries, whereas Archon is pretty much on the Tusk to go first. Not like the quickest and easiest initiation. Sure, it's alright, but then Mag has to follow up, and going into that when there's a Ravage is really hard. But when PA can just have an Aegis and fight, it's a lot easier. They're gonna secure this.
They do manage to get the rush on. It's finally picked up by the Phantom Assassin. Lich ulti bouncing really far away. And it's been stolen by SVG. His Rubik play has been on point in the series we've seen. There's the Ravage. Lich is immediately dead. But Jo, he is ready to fight with that Aegis. Throws a long-range dagger. And now, what are they doing? It feels like the lineup of Archon's kind of surrounded, kind of split up. Jo gonna be caught on the backlines by a Slithering Crush. There comes a Snowball, sending both Brax and Moo. Well played there. But now, let's see if Ritsu is going to be able to get out. And from this Shackle of Dreams, it looks like Fluff and Stuff may be the one going down, but Jo coming in, seeing what he can do. There's the Wind Run. They used the Shockwave to do something, and MSS is stunned, but that is the first life, and this team fight very quickly going very south for Archon. They secured the Aegis, but it was not enough, and C9 just backing out. I feel like Fluff and Stuff had another really good roll in with the Tusk, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough, and it did lead to whoever... They got shackled together afterwards, which just meant that Windrunner could pick them off with the amp damage on them. They took like 3 shots from her.
Yeah, I think that would have even gone worse if it wasn't for the fact Ritsu blinked up to the high ground on Starladder. If he was in the fight, I think they'd have lost like 1 or 2 more heroes. Maybe even killed the PA twice, not just getting the Aegis.
Yeah. So, and that's what I mean about Ravage. It felt like... Oh, actually, Lich is gonna go... Maybe not. Can he be saved by a Phantom Assassin? But it looks like Whitebeard taking way too much damage. And Jo just not quite sure how to seal the deal here. Ice Shards are gonna block Brax out. They have to know that everything's on cooldown. And they should be able to see he has no mana. Walrus Punch up. He's being force-stuffed away, but they don't have follow-up now. All of their big teamfight ultis are down, but there's the Shallow Grave. This gank is taking them years. They should still be able to catch out Brax, and there's the dot to make sure they get it. But no, the physical attack didn't land because of the Wind Run coming out in time. And if Brax makes it out of here alive, this is ridiculous. And he does, in fact, get out using the Shadow Blade as well. That must be so frustrating for Archon. Felt like that kill was firmly in their grasps, and he just slips away again.
That's really annoying when you're playing. They're actually going to find Tusk here with the Stalling Chain Frost.
Yeah.
Just a bit over-aggressive on his positioning.
Savage getting some good use, SVG getting some good usages out of that while he still has it, so it's going to expire soon. And Fluff and Stuff, I still think Fluff and Stuff is playing really well on this Tusk. I do not think he's having the easy game that he had yesterday.
Well, this game it was harder for him to rotate around because the lanes weren't as easy to capitalize on. So he's still got a decent timed blink though, and he's definitely got the ability to save his team this game. So can just save the PA from a Ravage or a slide up blink, crush or a shackle, then he's done his job. He just doesn't need to do too much more than just save his teammates when they get in bad spots, which he should be able to do now he's got his blink.
It does look like Jo is going the Sanj and Yasho. As we've said, SVG already has his blink up. Windrunner now working on her Ags, but we're also seeing a Shadow Blade coming out of Magnus. He doesn't want to be the only one left unable to get a good jump off.
He went for it second last time as well, and I like it over the Force here. Because otherwise it's hard for him to go in with a blink. They can react from Cloud9. Whereas with Shadow Blade it's like, you get a bit more vision, a bit more time.
Yeah.
And it also makes you hit harder.
100%. Now, I wonder for Archon how early these BKBs are going to come out. It does feel like with that one big teamfight spell, yeah, they do have a lot of physical damage as well on C9, but it's certainly something where they seem to be being punished very heavily by these Ravages, and of course, you can just BKB that. So I wonder if Archon is going to prioritize that as the next items for some of their heroes in hopes of surviving that initiation.
I don't think it's a Jakiro item, but Mag and PA could definitely stop off for one. I wouldn't be surprised if JO opts for it next, because he has decent damage with the SNY completed now. She's flying out. Monkeys is a bit away from his, but I could definitely see it next.
Yeah. And Jakiro saving up a lot of gold for something. Already has the mech, isn't going the Guardian Greaves, and has the Yules up. Oh, it looks like we have a smoke. This positioning seems to be... Or everybody just needed something from the courier. That happens too, I guess.
They want to push out this wave, then they're going to smoke. They have one on fluff.
Always a small thing to do. If you've got one lane pushing in, actually top might even give it away. They might need to push that one out too, but when you have a lane pushing in like this, your opponents know. Oh, well thank you. Oh yeah, I love it when this thing gets stuck. There we go. The drawing tool. I had it stuck on my cursor. Happens a lot to me in Reborn.
They definitely wanted to smoke, but realizing it wasn't the idea, the correct idea. But now they're going to fight bottom. I'm not sure if they smoked in range of this ward. They might have just been slightly out of range. Maybe C9 know it's coming because they're playing a bit more passively, looking one off that steps out.
I mean, I think that they want to hopefully jump someone here, the lineup of C9, and oh, they're gonna realize there's actually a blink forwards. Tusk going in onto SVG. They've already baited out the shallow grave. This could be a great team fight for Archon if they can just find it. There's gonna be a nice shackle onto Fluff and stuff, and they've picked off the Rubik, but Brax has a haste. They have to find someone using monkeys, and I don't know if he's gonna be able to get it off. He actually solo RPs Brax, but the Ravage, there it goes, on all of them! The Ice Ball's doing good work as well, but now here comes Ritsu with quite a bit of damage, and everybody getting really low on both teams. MSS is still full health though, and they managed to pick off Ritsu. Can they stop this TP? No! Brax manages to get out. MSS will probably pay for this with his life, but he will probably, do a bit of damage there, even using the Shadow Blade and the Shockwave. And what is this courier doing? Save your Golden Doomling! He's gonna be able to walk it off just fine. But that's, I feel like, baiting out the Shallow Grave and then killing that hero, just potentially something that won them that fight, because then Ritsu had to go in with no support.
Yeah, they just lacked damage once they used the Ravage. Ritsu doesn't have enough damage. Brax doesn't have quite enough to be able to do that. Rubik's still a big part of the fight, so him dying first was a big deal. Also, just being able to catch out monkeys with the RP is also putting him in a spot he doesn't want to be in. Even if he gets help with the Ravage, he's still in the middle of 5 heroes, which is not ideal.
Yeah, did you think it was... I was a bit worried about the Solo Man LP when it first came out. It seemed to have worked for them. Do you think it's worth it?
It's all they needed to do.
Okay.
That fight. Because they'd already secured the 5-on-5 by taking out the Rubik. So if they managed to find any hero, it was pretty much free. If Cloud9 then committed, they felt confident to be able to take the fight 5-on-4. So if they could get any extra pick off, it's worth it.
Yeah, definitely. So, really well done there from Archon, and while I would say they're still a bit behind, it feels like, oh, actually going on Moo again, there's gonna be a Walrus Punch, I think, holding that so he doesn't just TP. He does immediately use the Shackle, but there's so many heroes around. Ice Ball gonna be the setup, and I don't think Brax has a way out, and I just called him Moo, didn't I, because he has bloody Moo on the end of his name. Damn it, Brax.
Well, there was a Moo in that engagement.
Yeah, but, oh, I don't know. We'll just pretend I didn't do anything wrong. Much like we do, often. Times. So, looking at this game, they're getting some really good pickoffs on Archon. They've managed to bring the team net worth advantage back down to 0. They're also a little bit ahead in experience. Do you think, oh, as I say this though, yeah, it looks like Tusk is in the danger zone, but his entire team is coming to back him up, and it might be SVG that goes down. Walrus Punch doing work, and 1-4-3-7, you are not getting out of this one alive. Yule's up so he can't TP, and he's gonna fall here, I think. Do they get the lucky crits? Yep. MSS is trying to actually chill around a little bit. He didn't take damage there from those ice shards though, and they're going in on Ritsu now as well. Snowball and the Lich ult he committed. Doesn't actually bounce to him more than once, but oh, look at all that farm on the Lich from those creeps. I love that. Suddenly, it feels like Cloud9 falling apart in the team fight after team fight.
They're just making 1 or 2 small mistakes, and it's just snowballing out of control every time they look to do something. So, Archon have a really good lineup for capitalizing on it, though. Get out of position, PA can chase you down with daggers, there's a blink, Yule's Jakiro, and it's hard to fight into them when they have Chain Frost as well. So.
Now, it's not all lost at all. I feel like this PA really, before she can bring a lot of hurt to the Windrunner, does need the MKB, although Phantom Assassin has saved up. We have a lot of rich people, all of a sudden. Phantom Assassin leading the charge with 4.3k gold, so it could just be, hey, I'm gonna buy a straight MKB in a second. But also our Jakiro is very rich again.
Yeah, they've been getting objectives as well as the team fights, so just stuff for the rest of the team. Gay opts for a BKB. I wouldn't have been surprised if he opted to just tank up a tiny bit and go for something like Scaddy. But this is a more offensive choice, which I like. Hero, he could finish a Vlad's. Range of that. Maybe he lets his supports get it instead and he gets a more impactful item. I'm not too sure what he'd want to go. Maybe Lotus Orb?
Yeah, and I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure Monkeys is about to build a refresher, but it also could be a Lotus Orb potentially, but most likely a refresher. Very common on Magnus as a hero. And we have dual roaming smokes. I feel like both teams should have a good idea of what's happening, but maybe
the Courier's gonna scout them.
Oh goodness, yes, hello Courier, and they kill it? No, they don't manage to kill the Courier, but now it knows, and they're coming in. They do have the Ravage up though, so we're gonna be seeing that come out, but the BKB is popped, and he kills off the Tidehunter before he can do anything. Now Brax, he's in a lot of trouble, has to use that Wind Run, but RP gonna burn through that cooldown. Brax is shallow graved up, but I don't think that's gonna be enough, and now they're gonna kill off Ritsu. Sorry, it was Ritsu shallow grave. They were right on top of each other, and now, can they catch out 1437? They're probably gonna get the Rubik, yeah, and now, just, you know, PA casually doing the Roshan fluff and stuff will do some good work to 1437, and they punch him down. They were actually taking a crap ton of damage. I don't know if you saw that, but Dazzle's auto attack onto Fluff and stuff did like a fourth of his health because he had the Dazzle Weave and he had the minus armor from Slaughter on him.
I wasn't watching at the end, unfortunately, but...
Did they just
yeah, if the
steal
Weave
a
stacks
gem?
up, they do a buttload of damage.
They just got a gem for free as well. They had just bought, well not just, they'd only 5 minutes ago on C9 had they bought a gem. And now it's immediately into the hands of Archon. It's not as bad as it could be, you know, it's not that, oh I literally just bought the gem, but they have put themselves in a bad position for this game. And
They got it here though, didn't they? And I think that was pretty much immediately.
No, it's apparently it's on cooldown for only 4 more minutes, like 5 more minutes, so it means it
I
wasn't
think
quite
they got it
immediate.
like 3 or 4 minutes ago when they killed the Dazzle here. Anyway, getting the gem's also really big. It's 900 free gold, and it lets the Tusk pick up an item instead of buying one himself.
Yeah, really nice. And map control, we've talked about this before. Map vision, it's why Night Stalker was so in demand. Map vision wins you games. You can't beat map vision. So, now, I also think a lot of what happened there was, even though there were actually other members of Archon around, it felt like MSS was really trying to hold his Ravage until the BKB on Jo was done.
If you get that situation, it's really hard as a Tide. You know you have to lock down the PA, but at the same time, your team's dying. Meanwhile, he has the force in the mech, so he can kind of help them survive throughout.
Oh, they catch out 1437 in mid. And Jo actually gets a dagger to finish it off.
Buyback? No, like no one has buyback here. They could probably secure a rat.
Oh, I'm gonna teach you.
I'm
gonna teach you a trick because for some reason all my co-casters, despite all of you being pretty damn good at Dota, don't know this. You know when someone has buyback, it shows the gold lining.
Yeah, I actually saw that on Reddit like years ago, but I still always look at buyback status.
Oh my goodness. You and, like, multiple of the 5k players I co-cast with, like, don't look at that. And yeah, anyway, either way, Jo's just gonna stand up here and take it. He can do this with the Aegis. It's something, it's very easy for them to slow siege, especially with a Jakiro, and I think at least the tier 3 will fall here. They do still have Ravage up on C9, and they also have the RP, of course, harder to land a really good RP here, but Fluff and stuff, he's just ready to go in hand. He's gonna get lifted, might get punished here, and there it is! Windrunner's just gonna kill him off! No! They get the mech out in time, but you can see how much damage he took from each of those auto attacks with the amp damage. There's gonna be a dual breath because Ritsu is suddenly out there, and they do land a nice Shackle. The immediate Yules up from... Oh, but there is the RP into the Ice Path as well! Macropire on the deck! What a beautiful combo! Brax is dead, that's the main part of their damage, and SVG might be following if he's not careful, but Jo just deciding, hey, I got my BKB up, let's get ourselves our racks. They still have Ravage. MSS, I don't think wants to use it here, and I think they just decide to lose the racks. Save the Ravage for something else.
DDPA as well.
Yeah. Because they needed to be luckier. I mean, she also has the Empower, oh goodness!
What they did was they dropped someone's bottle and let the PA take the DD, so he popped it at the right time, which is... I'm not gonna say it won them the game, but it definitely helped a bit.
5-man Ravage team! MSS, let it be known that he is very good at the Tidehunter as their throne explodes. But yeah, a draft from Archon that we felt like Cloud9 understood what they needed to do against this draft, but not enough, and maybe it was the Tidehunter, maybe it was some other stuff going on there. But either way, we're getting ourselves a game 3 from this set, and Cloud9, as we've talked about before, they are 1-1 in their group. If they lose this, they're 1-2. They are most likely out. Oh, not most likely. You're out of first or second place contention. So they really want to win this. Once again,
Isn't there going to be like a tiebreaker though? If all teams go like 2-2? Possible, right?
They can't. It's groups of 4. So it's 1-2
Okay,
or 2. Yeah. Don't worry. I too worried about this with my brain power. Either way, I'm Llama Down Under. I've been joined by PQMZ as my co-caster. We've got Vengeance on stats. You can see his Twitter handle on the screen. Please show him your love. Once again, we'd love your feedback on how to get better at casting, and you can leave that at Llama Down Under on Twitter, Twitch.